What if your best body isn't about size, but alignment? By day, I'm a healthcare innovation attorney, but all day, every day, I am the liberated lawyer, and I'm on a mission. I help high achieving women to break free from the boxes that built success so that they can finally live a life that is fulfilled, fit, and free. Because life is too long to be unfulfilled. I'm Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes, Harvard trained attorney, PhD in organizational leadership, award winning author, TEDx speaker, bodybuilder, senior model, and your go to badass girlfriend when it's time to reinvent, reset, and rise. From the boardrooms to the bodybuilding stages, I've lived life in the end where we don't have to choose between being successful or fulfilled. We use the power of our choices to be successful and fulfilled. And now I coach other women on how to make powerful decisions that align with the life they desire and deserve. So, if you're ready to stop settling and start designing the new you that will yield the new life you desire and deserve, you're in the right place. Let's get it. You know, I am a fitness enthusiast and I have been into fitness for quite some time because I know that being fit is a path to truly being fulfilled. Now, if you don't know, I believe that all women can be successful and fulfilled. And that's based on three pillars: fulfillment, fitness, and freedom. And I have been exploring the petals that make up each of these pillars. And today I want to focus on fitness. And within the fitness pillar are three petals: fitness, focus, and faith. So let's jump into understanding how each of these petals opens up and blooms into a lifestyle of fitness. So, as you can imagine, fitness, the first pillar, it focuses on our physical fitness because we need energy. It's not about how we look, but it's about how we feel, how we move, and how we are able to fully experience life. So, it's energy over aesthetics. You have to respect your season. We're not trying to be young and we're not trying to age earlier than we need to. We are trying to have the best body that we can for this season that we're in. Focus. This is where is your attention. So this is not just what you are looking at or what is before you, but it is truly your ability to gain clarity through mental wellness. Your attention is tied to the health of your mind, and we want to achieve health in our mind, body, and spirit. So the focus pedal focuses on your mental wellness. You know, what is allowing you to be the sharpest? What is draining you? Where does your mind need to heal? We are very quick to invest and go to see a doctor when we experience a physical illness. Well, we need to be just as enthusiastic and open to experiencing therapy and the things that go into ensuring that our mind is the healthiest. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There is nothing to hide. It's about investing in your mental health so that you can fully experience life. You see the trend? And as a segue into the last pedal, we don't have to rely solely on faith to have a healthy mind, and we don't have to think that they're mutually exclusive. You can pray and go to therapy. But faith petal focuses on really reclaiming and developing a discipline around your spiritual practice, whatever that is. I'm a Christian. You don't have to be. If you want to be, girl, let's talk. But my point is, it's very important that we have a spiritual practice. And this involves a discipline around prayer, meditation, and our beliefs. Because our beliefs impact our focus, which impacts our fitness. All of these petals are interwoven. That's why I describe them as such. Remember the imagery of a rose. All of those beautiful petals create the one flower. So we want our focus, our fitness, and our faith to be in alignment with each other. So, this might be a time for you to shift your definition of fit. If you listen to the media, if you pay too much attention to social media and all of those influences that are out there, they may tell you that fit looks like a particular size. Fit looks young. Fit looks blonde. Fit looks this. Fit looks that. But it's not about what it looks like, but it is about alignment between your life, your values, your body, and your mission. Because as we enter into this golden season and beyond, we need fitness so that we can function. Fitness in this season, and really at every season, is about function. Can you walk? Can you enjoy a museum because you're physically fit enough to be able to literally walk through the venue without getting tired? Can you make it from the hotel to the beach? Are you able to get up and get down? Can you get in and out that fly car you have? All of these things are about function. And the stronger our bodies are, the more we can truly enjoy life. Now, y'all know I'm a bodybuilder, so now I have a whole nother level of strength training in mind, but I'm just going to say it. I believe every woman ought to invest in strength training, not for the purpose of looking a certain way on stage. You don't ever have to compete. You don't ever have to call yourself a bodybuilder. But here's the truth. You need your muscles in order to function. So we want to redefine fit from the perspective of how can we truly live a fulfilled life by having our mind, body, and spirit in alignment. So I'm just going to share a little story. I always got a little story. I'm going to share two stories actually. I have been inspired by my fitness journey because of my Granny Ethel, and I talk about her all the time. My Granny Ethel was a bad woman. I mean, she was smart, she was an advocate for our family, and she was a great influence on me. But one of the things I noticed that as she aged, her movements became less and less. She became more and more physically inactive, and that took a toll on her body, which eventually took a toll on her mind. And when I think of getting up, going to the gym every day, I think about my granny. And I think about how I have the opportunity to have a better and more mobile life by keeping my body fit. I don't care what dress size I am. This is not about being in a dress size. This is not about having a flat stomach or not having cellulite. It's about being able to fully enjoy my life. And so I do this in honor of my Granny Ethel. And I really became to step into honoring my granny and myself and my family in this way back in 2018. I was going through it. Got back into fitness actually about 2 years before that in 2016, going through my divorce. I needed a way to positively run off some steam rather than being fixated on anger and all the emotions that go along with a divorce. I was mad at my husband. I wanted to beat him upside the head. Well, that's not good because I don't need to go to jail. And it really wasn't all of that. So I started running again. I was literally running away from and running off my problems. So 2016, 2017, I really got back into the discipline of running. And it really was a savior, if you will, for me in 2018, because that was when the it hit the fan. It was just really not a good time in my life. My business failed. My mind was not strong. I was experiencing just a series of unfortunate events that eventually took their toll on my mental health. So I became depressed. I was overwhelmed by all that was going on with me, and it impacted my confidence. It impacted my ability to show up, and it left me depressed, defeated, and despondent. And I'm just going to be honest, I kind of gave up. I was ready to just leave this earth. I never acted upon it, but I sure thought a lot of times, would my life just be better off if I were not here? And praise God, I did not give in to those emotions or those thoughts. And I was able to focus, realign my mind on the positive. Yes, things were low. Yes, my life was not going the way I planned. And yes, I was failing, quite honestly. But there was more to look forward to. I leaned into my faith, which allowed me to lean into my fitness, which enabled me to overcome the depression and despondency that I felt as a result of the circumstances that I was experiencing at that time. And eventually, when my outlook changed, my outcomes changed. I'm going to say that again. When your outlook changes, your outcomes change. So I was able to find another job. I found a legal job. I went back to work full time. As a matter of fact, before I did that, do you know what I did? Now, I am a Harvard trained attorney with a PhD in organizational leadership. And at one point, the only job I could find or did find was working as a bridal associate at David's Bridal. I sold wedding dresses, y'all. And I found this job one night having a little bit too much wine and thinking that I didn't have any options. And I happened to scroll through. I found that job. I applied for it. And of course, because I'm the fabulous fashion maven that I am, they hired me. Now, I'm going to tell you, I had a great time working at David's Bridal because I was able to tap into fashion and something that I love. But it only paid $11.75 an hour, and that was not going to be sustainable. And I recognized that I had to get over myself and help me to heal so that I could get a job that, one, was in alignment with my experience, and two, that was enough to pay the bills. My point being is we all go through things, and maybe you've never had to work for $11.75 at David's Bridal, whatever your version of that is. I want to just say that there's always hope on the other side, but you got to change your focus. And when I changed my focus, I was able to win in one area, but I allowed some other areas to fall to the side. So once I got this legal job, I had to go into the office, and I didn't really like it. It was a good job, and it paid my bills. It paid wonderful. It was six figures, and I was able to use my experience, but I didn't really like it because it wasn't totally aligned with my purpose. But I also kind of gave up. I gave up. I stopped working out, and I also stopped dreaming. And I allowed that circumstance to convince me to stall my purpose. And the real result of that, I gained 40 pounds. Y'all, I was fluffy as all get out. And I remember going on a birthday trip. My birthday in September of 2019. I went on this trip, and you take the little pictures. We went to the some kind of falls. I can't remember. Anyway, I took a picture and I looked at myself, and it was the first time I really saw myself. And I'm like, oh, that is not how I want to look. Now, initially, it was about aesthetics. But that was a jolting realization that not only did I look the way I desired to look, but honestly, I didn't feel the way I desired to feel. I didn't move the way I desired to move. And so I started to work out again. I didn't quite get there consistently, but I lost 10 pounds. And then, y'all, my body was like, look here, uh, we're going to help you out. This is not really the way you want us to help you out, but we're going to just kind of step in. And so my body kind of turned on me, and I began to experience an autoimmune disorder. And I developed an allergy, but I didn't know to what. And so, as I was trying to identify what I was allergic to, I eliminated everything. Y'all, I lost another 30 pounds eating French fries every day. Now, I know that sounds a little fantastic, and there is some truth to it. They were French fries, but they were baked in the air fryer. And long story short, because I had to eliminate everything out of my diet and was in a true caloric deficit, and at that time had also begun running again, I lost 30 pounds. Now, that is not what I am advising to do. I'm not advising anybody to eat French fries every day. I decided that this is an opportunity to take advantage of a healthy lifestyle. And so I committed to eating healthy. I committed to going to the gym. I began strength training. And that really launched me into the bodybuilding journey that I'm on now, where I eat. I stopped fasting. I stopped starving myself. I stopped the yo yo dieting, and I developed a habit of just eating healthy. Embracing a healthy lifestyle has enabled me to experience life more fully. My lab numbers look good. My blood pressure is better than it's ever been. All of my numbers support a healthy lifestyle or reflect a healthy lifestyle. And I'm able to move and do things and enjoy my golden season. And you know what? I want that for everybody. I want every woman to experience this season of her life in her greatest health, in her greatest fitness, her greatest focus, and her deepest faith. Because we all deserve to be fulfilled, fit, and free. And when we embrace the fitness petals, we're able to embrace this season with our best and healthiest selves. So, shedding the pounds led me and sparked a commitment to fight for my health, to fight for my joy, and fight for my future. And that's what I want for you. I rebuilt myself from the inside out. I became consistent. I started strength training. I became a bodybuilder. And now I'm on a whole nother journey, and it's fun. I'm really enjoying it because I'm showing myself, not anyone else, what I can do with my body. I don't know how long I'll compete. I don't know if I'll compete beyond this year, but I have this renewed commitment to just being my best self. And in this season is bodybuilding. But here's one thing that this season will yield for me. I will be healthier and stronger in my golden ages, and I will have a function that allows me to live my best life truly. And so that's what I want for you. That's what I desire for every woman. And I want every woman to be able to look in the mirror and say, I am in the best shape of my life. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever that feels like for you, however that enables you to be your best physical self, mental self, and spiritual self. And I'm on this mission to help other women live a life that is truly fulfilled, fit, and free. Because you don't have to hit a rock bottom. You don't have to experience an autoimmune disorder. You don't have to overeat out of depression. You don't have to do any of those things. And even if you have been experiencing that, you don't have to stay there. You deserve to be fulfilled. You deserve to be fit. You deserve to be free. So, here's one thing that I want you to ask of yourself. How do I feel? How do I really feel? Do I feel that I am my best self, or do I feel that I'm barely making it? Am I truly committed to moving with function? Am I truly committed to taking care of my mind and ensuring that I am as sharp and as clear as I can be? And Do I have a spiritual practice that enables me to be mindful, intentional, and deliberate about experiencing the full joy that life offers? Well, if you need help with answering those questions, you know your girl is here for you. We can have a revelation conversation. And during that time, we will be able to identify the first steps that you need to take to be able to say this affirmation: I am whole, I am focused, I am grounded. Now, I'll just say really quickly that saying those things to yourself before you experience them is just the beginning of opening your mind to the possibility that leads to your best fit self. I am whole, I am focused, I am grounded. Because remember, life is too long to be unfulfilled, and you don't have to be on a journey to being your best self by yourself. Let's have a revelation conversation. You can go to everythingideserve.com and we can begin the first step to you living and being your best self.